We all know that one person, like usually we know at least one, that it seems regardless of what they set out to do, they accomplish it. And it's like this superhuman quality that they have. It's almost like they're a superhero of sorts. But today, guys, I'm going to show you how you can get a little bit more of that in your own life. And just to be honest with you, it's going to be a lot simpler than you think. What's up, everybody? It's Chase with Energy to Conquer, and today is day 54 on my experimental journey to increasing my energy, my mental clarity, and my overall focus. Look, guys, if you don't feel like you have the energy that you used to, you just find yourself at this weird place where you don't feel like you have the energy you should, you don't have the mental capacity, you're not able to focus, guys, be sure to subscribe to the channel because that's what this channel is all about. But look, guys, today is just one of those days. This is going to continue to build on the last 4 days, starting on 51, 52, 53, and today's day 54. So I'll link all those in the bottom so you can go back and catch those up. But, you know, this all kind of ties in together. Each one's individual videos that you're going to be able to get something from. But when you put these together as a whole, it kind of becomes this whole big picture thing. So look, guys, today is about, you know, how to become more of a doer, right? How to become that mover and shaker, and that person who, whatever it is you set out to do, you're able to accomplish. Because this is really simple, and here's the problem, is that it's so simple, you can't really write a book about it. You can't really teach a course about it, right? And so guess what? It's so simple that it gets neglected, and we don't believe it when we see it. Like we think we need like this 300-page book, right? Or we need this 12-hour course to figure out how these people become doers, right? How do they become movers and shakers? And that's what this video is about today. And the thing is, like, there's just not a lot of money in that, right? If somebody can tell you in 5 minutes, you're not going to be able to sell many books that way, and you're definitely not going to sell many seminar seats or training programs. So look, guys, I'm going to let you in on this little secret, right, on how you can, you know, just accomplish whatever it is you set out to do. Like whatever you want to do in life, you have the idea and you just go do it. Like, how do you become this doer, right? This person who just takes action, an action taker that gets things done. So whether that comes to your diet, whether that's your fitness, whether that's, you know, in your work life, whether that's business, or maybe you just want to get a promotion or make more money, like whatever it is. Maybe that's in your home life with your children, like you just want to be like this courageous cowboy that just, like, whatever you set out to do, this is what I'm going to do, and you do it, right? And the thing is, like, when you do that, it builds your self-esteem, builds your self-confidence, it creates so much momentum and good certainty in your life, right, guys? And it's like, that is what most of us want, right? We want that, right? And that feeling, it's almost like you're living on this high, right? Whatever you set out to do, you just go do it, right? That's what we all want. So look, guys, I'm going to break it down for you. It's real simple today, and this is going to be a short video, and it kind of, like I said, it builds upon the other ones, but also this video, you're going to be able to take a lot from it by itself. But be sure, if you like this video, to go back and check out the other videos, day 51, 52, 53. So look, guys, and all those are going to be linked in the bottom, so be linked in the description. Just look in there, you can find it. But look, guys, so here's the biggest secret, is number one, you've got to have a plan. Like, we all know that, like, you've got to have a plan. So yesterday was about the process goals, and, you know, that comes back to creating a plan and having a plan, and then just attacking the process, right? Because here's the problem for most of us. We set these big goals, or we say we're going to do these big things, or, you know, even if it's not something big, maybe it's just losing 20 pounds, right? Maybe it's just something not huge, but we just set to do it. But it becomes this abstract thing, and we never really formulate a plan, so we never really create the clarity. And the biggest problem with that is we don't have clarity on how to create a plan, right? We don't have the certainty on how to create the plan, which creates this mental uncertainty and confusion, which creates a stress in itself, right? And so it makes us want to avoid that, right? It becomes an avoidance, right? So we want to do this, but you know, I don't want to get in the weeds too much of trying to figure this out, because it creates uncertainty and doubt, right? And I don't like the way that feels, so we typically avoid that. And you can go look back. I got a video, I'll find it and I'll link it in the comments below as well. I did a video on certainty and I guess, uncertainty and indecision, and how that affects kind of your energy levels, because that just that process in your mind, that worry, that stress, the uncertainty. So it's hard to create momentum. It's hard to, I guess, kind of just feel confident, you know, that lack of confidence that comes with that. So when we set these goals and we set out to do them, right, these things, you know, whatever it is, we'll just say it's to lose 25 pounds. So it's something that's not crazy, right? It's not crazy at all, and it's something we've all probably experienced, so it's something we can all relate to. But this can apply to anything in life, right? Whether it's your finances, whether it's your children, whether it's your marriage, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is you want to improve. So, you know, maybe it's just your overall happiness, right? But anything, so anything, you get the point. And so we got to attack the process, right? But how do we attack the process when we don't know what to do? And the way we do that is basically reverse engineering the process. So we take that 25 pounds and we look at what can we do, right, to do this. So let's say you want to spend the next, you know, let's say in 6 months you want to lose 25 pounds. Because is that realistic? Absolutely, right? And is that something that you believe in your mind you can do? Sure. Now, if you want to lose 70 pounds in 6 months, that's a stretch, right? Because that's more than 10 pounds a month. And the problem is your body's going to plateau, your body's going to adjust. And I'm not saying it can't be done, because it can be done. It very much can be done. But for most of us, it's going to be a stretch. And we've never been able to lose that much weight at one time before, or we wouldn't be in this situation. And then so it'd be like, you know, your mind's going to almost call BS. So number one, it's got to be believable, right? And I'm not saying not to have stretch goals and big goals, because that's something you build. But sometimes if you have trouble sticking to things, you just got to start where you're at and do some simple things. If nothing else, this is almost practice to build up that muscle and to develop that skill, right? You're developing the skills. So those skills just get stronger. It's like muscles. The more you work them, so maybe you start out with something simple. Maybe you start out with a 10-pound goal. Accomplish that. Then jump up to the 25-pound, right? So, and you can add that in as your kind of short-term or mid-range goals is the 10 pounds, but that's just kind of the example, right? So maybe if your goal is to lose 100, maybe you just need to start with 25. 6 months to lose 25, that's going to create enough momentum, and you're probably going to get ahead, right? Because you're going to accomplish your goal fast. So start where you're at. You know, that was yesterday's thing. Start where you're at. Don't go crazy and expect to lose 125 pounds in 1 year. Just saying. Not saying it can't be done. Anything's possible. You know, I'm not going to say that you can't do it, but I'm going to say for most people, it's going to be setting them up to fail. So anyways, we create this goal, whatever that is. So it's something simple, 25 pounds, 6 months. And, you know, we just need to break that down. Well, what do we need to lose on a monthly basis? So what's 25 divided by, you know, 6? Like, what do we need to lose in those 6 months? So we break that down to a monthly goal. Then we bring it down to, okay, to a weekly goal. And then what can we do? What can we do to get us there, to lose those 25 pounds? Obviously, we're going to have to change our diet. Obviously, we're going to have to do some exercise, right? Or you know, maybe you can just do diet over 6 months, but for the conversation's sake, we're going to say the exercise, right? But it's enough room on your diet and your exercise where you don't have to just completely spend 2 hours of exercise and go to an extreme diet on day one, which is probably going to set you up to fail by the end of week 1 or 2. So we break down that 25 pounds over a period of 6 months, how much we need monthly. There's our monthly milestones, okay? And then we want to do, you know, we can go down to weekly if we want, or we can just take that month and just focus on process goals. So that's the outcome goal, is the 25 pounds. The monthly goal is another outcome goal. Like, we can't always control that. Sometimes things are going to come up. Sometimes things, we're just going to have bad information. Sometimes, right, we are going to just not know what to do, and we're going to do the wrong thing. And so we need to do the wrong thing to learn to be able to better understand and make the adjustments, okay? So that's important. That's important to understand. And so this comes back to the process goal. So we set that monthly goal, monthly outcome goal, and now we're going to focus the rest of that on process goals. So now it's just about taking actions. And what happens is, you know, what do you think you need to do, you know, each week to get there? And then break that down to what you need to do each day to accomplish your process goal for the week. So you set a weekly process goal, right? And then you set a daily process goal based off of what you need to do to hit that weekly goal. And ideally, when you put those 4 weeks together, it's going to give you what you think you need to do in order to reach your outcome goal. But guess what? At the end of month 1, if that didn't work, then maybe you need to tweak it, right? Or maybe you need to intensify it. And then month 1, sorry, in month 1, if you didn't get the outcome you wanted, if you stuck to the process goals, okay, well, maybe now we need to adjust the process, because it's going to be enough time frame in that 1 month to realize whether this is working or not. So then week 2, we kind of dial, or month 2, we dial it in, make adjustments to our process goals, hit it, attack it, you know, on a weekly. We got our weekly process goal and our daily process goal. So we break that down. We attack that day by day by day by day. We do that for month 2. We get to month 2. If we don't hit our goal, we make our outcome goal, we make adjustments again, right? And so it's all about being fluid and being able to make these adjustments instead of getting rigid and saying, this is it, this is what I'm going to do, and it's going to work. And then when it don't work, we get discouraged and we quit, right? Or either we set the bar so high it's impossible for us to get, that we get discouraged and we quit. So that's a big part of that. But here's the thing with the process goals is, number 1, if you're doing this on a daily basis, when you screw up today, right, even though you screw up today, you're going to have an opportunity to start over tomorrow and the next day and the next day to get this right. So as long as you don't quit and lose your determination, right, even when you screw up, and it's not a justification to screw up, but it's saying when you do screw up, because we're all going to fall off that horse at some point, we can immediately get back on it the next day, right, or hopefully that same day, but you know, the next day, we don't have to wait a month, right, and we completely blow our whole goal. We can get back on it. So it's practice and you're building that muscle. But the thing is, like, when you don't get the results you want on the monthly outcome goal, you're still going to feel good about yourself because you hit the process goals, and you're still building that self-confidence, that self-esteem that I talked about yesterday in day 53. You're going to build that self-worth, that self-belief, right, because you're doing it and you're actually winning, because your focus is not on necessarily the outcome. Like that monthly outcome goal is your benchmark to say, is this working or is this not, right? Do I need to make adjustments to my process, or do I need to keep doing what I'm doing because it's working, right? So that's a benchmark, right, just to measure where you're at each month, right? And if you can start hitting those benchmarks, like you make the adjustments to your processes, right? Because it's okay if you get it wrong, just make the adjustments and continue. But the problem is most people get it wrong and they quit because they get discouraged because they don't understand this. So this is real simple, right? We overcomplicate this, and I think marketing is overcomplicated. People trying to sell books, courses, seminars have overcomplicated this stuff. People trying to sell fad diets have overcomplicated this stuff, right? You got to have those benchmarks. So month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, month 6. Your benchmarks, right? Your end goal is month 6, so really I guess month 6 is your outcome goal. But you've got some time to play there to adjust your processes to get it right, to get the outcomes that you want. But the thing is, when you miss those monthly outcome goals, which is your benchmark, right, when you miss those benchmarks, it's okay, and you're still going to feel good about yourself. You're not going to feel defeated. You're not going to feel like you've screwed up or you've lost or you've wasted your time, because you're going to have all the confidence and the self-esteem from hitting those process goals, right? Because your focus is on the process. You've got to learn to attack the process, and then the goals will take care of themselves. And if you've got the wrong information on the process, the benchmark's going to tell you your process is wrong, right? It is the test. Like basically it's almost like an 8th grade or 9th grade science project, right? You got this hypothesis that if I do this process for 1 month, I'm going to get this result. So then you do the work and you test it. If that doesn't work, then your hypothesis has failed. And so you're going to go back and change the process, create another hypothesis. If I do this for 1 month, I'm going to get this result. And you test it. If it works, great. Then keep doing it for the remainder of the 6 months, right? Or whatever's left to hit your outcome goal, your big goal, your 25 pounds. But if it fails, okay, create another hypothesis, make some changes based off of the information that you learned, right? Because every time you fail, you get new information, you get better information to help you achieve that goal moving forward. Like you don't fail, right? Either you win and you get what you want, or you learn. And then you apply that new information that you learned and you do it again, and either you win or you get new information, right? You just keep building. It's just you keep building. And you can't do that but so long before you're going to get the results you want. But the thing is, you've got to not feel like you lost when you don't get the results, right? In that month 1 benchmark, in that month 2 benchmark. And how do you do that? You do that with the process goals. And you've got to just focus on attacking the process. Don't focus on the week. Don't focus on the month. Focus on the day. And that's the difference between the haves and the have-nots. That's the difference between the movers and the shakers and the not. Like the movers and shakers, they are the doers, right? The doers, they're just focused on what they need to do today. If they fail yesterday, they don't care. Today's a new day. We're going to focus on what we need to do today. I'm not getting caught up in the emotions. I'm not getting caught up in the logic. Like if I failed 3 days this week, so be it, right? Today's a new day. I'm going to focus on what I can do this day and get the most I can out of this day, even though I screwed up last 3 days, right? So, because when you're focused on the week, what's going to happen is, if you fail those 3 days, you're like, I've already screwed up the week, so I'm just going to jump off a cliff, right? And I'll start over next week. How many times have we said that? I'll start over Monday. I already screwed up today. I'll start over tomorrow, right? You know, and that's still a danger with this, but focus on the daily. And you know, you could break this down less than that in half-day goals if you want. You know, so I think Ed Milet, he says he runs his days, basically he does 3 days in one, 3 6-hour periods. And basically he treats each one, he kind of stops and analyzes, but he kind of breaks it down to 3 chunks, right? And you could do that if you want, but I'm not going that granular here. So I think that's way over most people's heads. I mean, you can definitely do it if you want, but I think that's probably going to create more confusion to this process. But just kind of throwing that out there for any of you that maybe you're more advanced, or maybe you like that idea, you can run with it, try it, see if it works. If it works, guess what? Keep doing it. If it don't, then do something different. That's the whole thing. Like if what you're doing is not working, you got to do something different. Like if you want different results. So focus on those. You know, just build that momentum. Focus on one day at a time. Don't worry about the week. Don't worry about the month. Don't worry about the 6-month goal, right? Just focus on one day at a time. And if you fail, you know, that's okay. Just start over tomorrow. Like you're focused on one day. Like I got to just follow the process this day. Attack the process. This concept is attacking the process. And I learned that from Andy Frisella on the MFCEO podcast, but it's just attack the process, attack the process, attack the process. And the reason most of us are not getting what we want is because we don't attack the process. Biggest reason we don't attack the process is because we don't have a process, because we don't know what to do, because we don't have a systematic way to break this down. So we're told just to set goals, and we set these outcome goals, and then we get so far off that it becomes unattainable to hit these outcome goals. We get discouraged and we quit. And that's if we even remember to check back in on our outcome goals that we set to begin with. Because how many of us have wrote down a big goal, right? Even a weekly goal, and you forget about it and you never check about it, and you run across it like a month later. You never check on it, right? You never check back in on it. A month later, you're cleaning off some papers on your desk and you find that goal and you're like, oh gosh, I completely forgot all about that, right? It's because you didn't have a plan. You didn't break this down to the daily. You never had a process to attack. And you can't get these outcome goals if you don't have a process to attack. You've got to be able to attack daily, and you got to have a plan daily to attack. And then you need some benchmarks, right? And you got to set the benchmarks, and that's what's going to get you there. Your benchmarks are just tests, right? It's not whether you pass or fail. This is not elementary school or high school or college, right? That's not what this is. This is a benchmark to test where you are at. It's not a pass or fail. It's, do we need to make changes to the process, or is the process working? Because if the process is working, we just keep moving full steam ahead, doing what we're doing, and it's going to eventually get us there if we do the process long enough, right? But if we're not getting the results to keep us on track, then we're going to have to obviously make changes to the process. And guess what, guys? Some of you are going to get there in 4 months. Some of you are going to get there in 5 months. Some of you, It may take 7 months, but that's okay, because now you've got the process. Maybe your process was completely screwed up for the first 3 benchmarks, and it took you 3 months to get dialed in on the right process to get you going in the right direction. And so it takes you an extra 2 months. But guess what? Now you know the process. You know what to do, and you can take that 25 pounds that you know how to lose. So now you can lose any amount of weight you want. Just follow that process, right? You could do 50, 75, 100, 200, like whatever it is. Follow that process. So guys, that's really simple. That's really breaking it down. And you know, I didn't want this video to be that long, but it's so simple, right? And it's something that we've got to follow along and just trust the process. But to be able to trust the process, we got to create the process, right? And just attack that process on a daily basis. So look guys, if you found any value from this video, be sure to like it. You know, I would appreciate it if you would like it. If you find value in this, leave me a comment below. You know, just let me know in the comments what you think. If you took anything away from this, maybe you think I'm an idiot, I don't care. Like, you know, let me know. Maybe you think I'm just completely full of it, but leave me a comment either way. You know, if this is something that helped you out, be sure to let me know, and give us a like. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button. There's a lot more where this came from. And guys, here's the thing. You know, this content is about, this whole channel is about energy and how to get more energy, but it applies just as much to people who have too much energy. A lot of these same concepts apply either way, right? They can go either way when you get into diet and nutrition, and then just the energy management in your mind. Because a lot of times, you know, when we got too much energy, it's almost like you just need to get that off the top of your head so you're able to focus. Like, you got to get the energy off the top so you can kind of focus. And if you don't get the energy off the top, you're just spiraling out of control, right? So if you can focus that energy, maybe it's more about focused energy, right? It's all the same, because it's either way, you're burning too much energy, you know, thinking positively or negatively. And so maybe you got too much energy, you need to bring it down and focus. Or maybe you don't have enough, and maybe you're trying to go too many different directions, and you need to, you know, come back to that focus to bring your energy up. So guys, that's all I've got for you. Look, if you feel like things are not working, right? If what you're doing is not working, you got to do something different, right? If you don't feel like you have the energy you have, if you don't feel like you have the energy that you should have, jeez, can't talk. Or, you know, maybe if you feel like whatever you're doing, the energy, I guess, problem in your life is not working, you got to do something different. And that's what this channel is about, is helping you solve that problem, whatever it may be. So if that relates to you, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up on this video. Hope you guys have a blessed day.